I do enjoy the part where Paul Rudd is talking to his girlfriend, and I can't remember her name for nothing, the actress. But I'm so happy I got to watch this movie to see her again because I forgot how gorgeous she absolutely
Oh,
is.
she's radiant.
Oh yeah. Oh, anyways, I totally
You
went
just
off.
had a moment, huh?
I did.
I just saw you just zone, like your spirit left your body for a second. This week on Trees in Space, Jason and I watched the 2010 PG-13 comedy Dinner for Schmucks.
We did, and it's the second time I've watched it in what when did it come out? 2010.
Yeah,
So I've watched it.
I thought this movie came out way sooner than older. I thought it was like a 2006 movie.
Yes,
No idea this movie came out in 2010. That was crazy to me.
it was to me because Paul Rudd, who's in this movie,
He looks the
was a relatively,
same.
he's always looked the same, but he was relatively. I mean, he was still known, but he wasn't known like he is now. I mean, I know it's
No,
because of Ant Man and stuff, but Jesus, he's like, and I can't believe because I'm pretty sure the other guy, Steve
Steve
Carell,
Carell.
Carell,
Yeah,
I think he was just now starting to become a star at this point. That's why
he
he got.
so this movie came out right in the height of The Office US. So Steve
Mm,
Carell was like the peak of television, and this is right around the time I think where he was getting ready to leave The Office and pursue his acting career. And I don't know, there was a lot of reference to the other guys in a lot of the reviews that I read for this movie.
oh,
So the other guys in this movie, I think, came out right around the same time because they made a lot of comparisons for this movie and that movie. And we watched both of those, I think,
no, you watched
recently.
the other guys. I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
I
So I
watched it.
recently watched the other guys, and no way these movies
I
should
don't
ever be in the same category. Uh,
know.
but for those that haven't seen this movie and are curious on what it's about, Dinner for Schmucks stars Tim, who's Paul Rudd, a rising executive, works for a boss who hosts a monthly event in which a guest brings the biggest buffoon gets a career boost. Though he declines the invitation at first, he changes his mind when he meets Barry, played by Steve Carell, a man who builds dioramas using stuffed mice. The scheme backfires when Barry blunders the good intentions, sends Tim's life into downward spiral, threatening a major business deal and possibly scuttling Tim's romantic relationship.
Scuttling. That's a good word. It's not used enough in day to day conversations.
It
I mean,
isn't. And
I like that word.
it's well placed for David Guin and Michael Handelman, who wrote the movie, and the director was Jay Roach. For those that care about
Yeah,
that
I don't
sort
know
of
who
thing.
Jay Roach is. Yeah, yeah. First, I'm going to say the. I don't know if people do what this man does
The
about.
stuffing of mice or the
Yeah,
dinner for schmucks.
no, the stuff in the mice, the dioramas, the stuff. But if they do, he might be a buffoon, but Lord, he is talented. I
Talented.
don't care. To take a dead mouse is kind of gross, but to do those things he does to these mice, whether it's whether he got his history right or not when he tells a story at the end about whatever, which is totally hilarious.
You can eat my
You can't
pudding.
fly a cat in the rain. Yeah, you can't fly a cat in the rain unless you have an electric kite.
Yeah, all that
It's
stuff
like,
was just ridiculous.
but the intricacies of those mice and the clothes they're wearing and the stuff around them, that's talent.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that's
I mean,
I'm,
it's
I'm
no talking to dead animals.
I am receiving a message from the other side. I'm trapped. Where are they taking me?
She's talking to the lobster.
The what?
that was I was just oh, and I cannot. Sorry, Paul Rudd's character a lot more patient than I would have been. He was insufferable. I know he's a nice
Oh,
guy, but he was insufferable.
absolutely. Like I try to put myself into that situation. First of all, when he's like, "Oh, we don't need to get the cops involved." When they meet, Tim hits Barry with the car, and Barry was like, $10,000. You want me to give you $10,000? Oh, I don't have that. And he's like, wait, you want to pay me because I hit you with my car? Like right away, I would have been like, we're good. Let's just.
Yeah. He was trying to tell him he was getting like 5, 10. It was. I do enjoy the part where Paul Rudd is talking to his girlfriend, and I can't remember her name for nothing, the actress. But I'm so happy I got to watch this movie to see her again because I forgot how gorgeous she absolutely is.
Oh, she's radiant.
Oh, yeah. Anyways,
you just had a moment, huh? I just saw you just zone, like your spirit left your body for a second. Be like, if I was younger and I had talent, I could have been something.
If I just known her, I'd have been like, "Can I go to your party? Can we hang out?
Can I just hold your scarf?"
When he's talking to her, like, "Yeah, there's a me you don't know, and I don't like him, and you don't like him, but he does what he has to do, so we can live the way we have to live."
Exactly.
I'm like, I love that. I love that. And she's like, "I don't want that," and she probably does. She's like a good. The character is one of those good people and all, but ladies, gentlemen, people sometimes do what they don't want to do. It might be immoral or mean in order to continue living the lifestyle that you're accustomed to and they're accustomed to. We don't always like it, but yeah.
Yeah, coming soon is our OnlyFans channel. We're going to be doing things that we didn't think we were going to ever have to do, but without you all liking and subscribing and sharing, at some point, Smitty and I are going to have to get nut to butt. I'm sorry. That's how the only way we're going to be able to afford this thing.
Okay, we'll just get, one of us will get on all fours. Thing be hanging. The other person will be sitting on that person's lower back facing the camera. So there's.
Yeah, we'll watch the movie together.
No,
I was going to bring up Darla because I can remember Crazy Darla. Like the fact that Barry just goes on somebody's computer and is like, "Yeah, I'm
lonely.
I'm touching myself." Yes.
Yeah.
Do you need help? Yes. Like as I was watching it, part of me was like, all right, again, if I was Barry, see where this goes. And then he matches Darla's butt with the girlfriend's butt. Do you think that Paul Rudd's character has a particular butt style now?
Well, no, because apparently when he slept with Darla, which was 2 years ago, was a one night stand, drunken New Year's Eve or whatever it was. So I don't think he was paying attention to her, but he might have been. But
I mean, that may have been the opening line.
Nice butt. But the thing about Barry's the schmuck, right?
Yep.
So, okay, I don't know. It seemed like it was an uneven character when it comes to the sex parts of the movie, like talking about it, because he'd be kind of whispering about like it's the sex or whatever, like he was ashamed of it, but then he would say it like it wasn't a big deal half the time, but then he was like ashamed of it when he would talk about it. It seemed like
I don't think I got onto that.
And he always like, you know what, she might be sleeping with her boss right now, but that's okay because he's like he knows things like he shouldn't know. That's code. Don't you watch Law and Order?
No.
That's heroin in the grass, the marijuana, wine, like alcohol. Like
yeah.
I'm just like, maybe I got less mature as I got older, which is possible. The movie is better than I remember it being. I like the artist guy.
Yes.
Corwin. Yes, he was. He was great.
And Vanessa. It's got to be Vanessa. Vanessa is I was like, how can we remember every other person's name except the radiant actress in this movie?
Because when you see her, you just look at face and you don't hear anything being said about her. But
she was so brilliant, she got lost in the movie.
That's a good review. And so people need to know, or don't need. I don't know if they need to know, but what happens? Of course, like Nate says, he gets hit by the car, and then he decides to take him to dinner for Schmucks. The girlfriend don't like it, gets mad at him, and ever since she gets mad at him, things keep happening where Barry keeps screwing him up with the relationship. Not so much work yet, but with the relationship, and he's just trying to get the contract and keep his girlfriend at the same time in a 24-hour period. It starts in there's a 24-hour period this happens all in.
Well, yeah, it's a 48-hour period. Total.
48-hour period.
Yeah, he hits him with the car on Wednesday, right? And then he shows up on Thursday.
Okay.
And then brunch is on Friday, and the dinner is Friday night.
Yeah. And there was a lot of extraordinary people there at that brunch that were
I was surprised with the amount of actors in this movie. Like,
yes.
I forgot Zach Galifianakis was in this movie. Him and Barry are ridiculous. Like, I don't know if Galifianakis's character is brilliant, like actually brilliant to the fact that he can manipulate this Barry so much, or is Barry just I don't like the hypnotism he has because he's eating his pudding.
Yeah, because it's like
I release you.
But the end, because they're at the dinner together, and then Tim tells, "Hey, you're smart because you have brain control."
Yes,
that
you
was
lay
classic.
your little eggs, and I haven't been able to get you out of my head since I met you.
Yeah, he's like eggs. No matter what I try to do, you just won't go away. I'm making you say what I want you to say. And the dude's like, I'm saying it first. Barry's like, are you?
Are you? Yeah. And it just makes that dinner party so much better. And then Jeff Dunham is in it. Very mild role in it, but he's married to his puppet, and his puppet is attracted to Barry.
Yes.
Or
looking down my shoulder. Tim.
And he's like, no, you want to be?
Why not? Or something like that. You want to be? Yeah. He's just not all there. I don't know, but he's very creative.
I think he's there. He's just simple. Like,
he is.
Why sugarcoat it?
His wife.
Yeah, and plus he's a mess. His wife is dating this guy that is just as wonderful as Barry, if not more.
Yes.
And like Barry's life is crumbling. Like he's building, like if you noticed, all of the main mice, one was his ex-wife or wife, and the other one was him. Like he was recreating all these memories there of that. So he was still holding on to that. And that's probably why he was just so like loopy. And he works for the IRS.
Right. Yes. And I do like the fact that they showed the wife in the small parts they did, but she wasn't part of the movie really. So you just know it's a human being.
Yeah.
So you can either think that she's evil, not evil, whatever, but you really have no emotion towards her. So you don't hate her, you don't like her. She's just part of the storyline. So I like the fact they didn't like try to bring her in more of it.
Yeah, it was just a quick neck and butt grab and
two main ones.
Do
you think it'd been a better movie if they switched roles?
No.
If Steve Carell was the straight-laced executive and Paul Rudd was the messed up mouse man.
No.
Of that.
I think he can play confused. He like Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. He could actually make that movie and it'd be brilliant. Because he doesn't go full. He just he knows when to stop.
You don't go full.
You never go full. You got to go just under. And I respect you very much for carrying on with the just enough.
Yes, just enough. Yeah, we're trying to, that's a good line we had there. But but I know Carell could do either part because I've seen him in serious parts before. He can play the straight guy pretty well. So you're just saying that he would do fine, but you don't think Paul Rudd would do as good as Carell as the mouse man?
No.
Okay.
Like I think he could have played the role. Don't get me wrong. I just think this movie was casted very well, especially for characters that were like just kind of really breaking in, I think, because
Yeah.
like I can't really like it was funny is you mentioned Paul Rudd movies and I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this one. Like I Love You Man.
Yes.
I think that was right around the same time too, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, same movie area, I believe. Like
Yeah.
and he's always been this still just kind of like cramped up actor, like cramped up character. Like he was very typecasted, I think, in this period of time. And I think that's why. Well, we had our review of this movie. Now let's see what the audience and Rotten Tomatoes scored this movie. And surprisingly, this has never happened, but the critics and the audience agreed at 42%.
And that's very nice of them to agree because I think it's because they don't know how to rate this movie. It's like, it's not crap. It's not great. I laughed a few times, but it was a little long for what it was. Throw a dice. Throw a dart.
Yeah. And, okay, I should have thought of this, and I didn't think of it until now. But when the audience and the Rotten Tomatoes agree, it makes finding reviews of the 5 and the 1-star nature kind of hard. There's not a lot of 5s. There's quite a few 1-ish, but there's a lot of like 2s and 3s. So the first 5-star review comes from Mary Ann F. Wow, I'm shocked, aghast, perplexed, and stunned at these low ratings by critics and users alike. Honestly, it's like American Funny Bone is eroding more and more year after year. Yes, the setup was a bit uncomfortable, which made the ending that much more touching. This is one of my favorite comedies. I deliberately went looking for it today and to see where it was streaming, and then I see all these nasty Rotten Tomato reviews. Seriously, I mean, the use of music alone was wonderful. The main theme, oh my god, it just keeps going on. She says you really laughed out loud.
Yes, it. Okay. That's a she or he, whoever this is, Marianne. She has an opinion.
You made the comment where earlier, and I meant to mention on it, but I think I enjoyed this movie more this time than when it came out in 2010. Maybe because I'm significantly older, and more mature, and I can view this because at the time this movie came out, they were my age.
Right.
So when I'm watching these movies that I watched as a kid, I now view these movies as like, shit, I am almost 40. Fuck. Like,
That's a good point. What she says something in her review that made me going to say something. Shocked, aghast, perplexed. As you said before in one of our videos, you said I would never pull out my thesaurus to do it
to write a movie
review. Yeah. And I mean, those weren't big words, but I'm pretty sure she pulled out her thesaurus.
Those were Scrabble words for sure.
They were. Okay. 1-star review or less. Matt L. Absolute rubbish. Cannot believe Rudd and Carell finished this production. Best role was the fight in the Concords bloke who was funny for 5 minutes. Watch Titanic. Funnier.
Yeah, Titanic is way funnier than Dinner for Schmucks.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Yes, it is. To the that twist ending, which was a horror movie for most guys.
I got a boner from that movie. I was in 6th grade watching it. It was a great movie to watch in 6th grade.
I fell in love with Kate Winslet when this movie came out, and I'm in love with her still. She is my favorite everything.
I didn't know that was Kate. I know now that's who that was, but I didn't care for anything she was ever in. Forever, she'll just be my Rose.
She's she was Anyways,
so here is another 5-star review. Really funny, funnier than I thought it would be. Worth the buy.
Worth the buy. So
He bought
go
this
buy a DVD. Yeah. Well, it was reviewed in
2011. Yeah.
So they weren't really doing streaming then. They had Netflix. They just didn't do streaming. Okay. Lucas K is not happy with this movie at all. He says, I think they accidentally edited out all the parts that made this watchable. And it's still 2 hours long.
It's still almost 2 hours long. It's a ridiculously long movie. I do agree. It was a little long.
Schneider cut. We need the Schneider cut.
Yeah,
3 hours long with all the parts that make it funny.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I'd watch that movie. I do want to see the outtakes.
Yes.
Because I cannot imagine them one-taking any scene with Steve Carell in this movie.
Yeah.
My WTF was the first review. This is an issue I had with this movie. There were so many reviews that the server kept crashing around August of 2010. The movie came out in July of 2010. So I grabbed every time I had to refresh the page, I had to copy. So this is the last one I copied. It was a 3-star review from August 13th, 2010. Funny moments, laugh out loud moments, but I found that there was no intelligent humor. It was mostly just laughing at their misfortune and stupidity, which really does get old by the end of the movie.
You know, that's a good point. And
I think that's a really fair review.
Yes. And but the one reviewer was right how it definitely had a lot more meaning at the end of the movie when that sweet stuff happened, and they got, so that is a great review. That's a great review.
I agree. And as far as how I would rate this movie, I found Dinner for Schmucks a bit long. It could have easily been trimmed down a little bit. It was to me, a fantastic summertime movie. It came out in July of 2010. I was in the States at that point in time. So it makes sense. It was a fine movie. I loved the acting in it. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought everybody played it very well. I'm going to give it a very fair 3 trees.
Wow. See, that to me is high because it's a comedy for sure. And there's so many other. I thought the acting was great. They're believable characters, even though they're insufferable. I thought the dinner itself was mean as hell, but I think that was the whole point of not liking them.
Yeah,
I did love the fact that what's his name from Office Space is in this movie. He got promoted. I'm thinking that's the same office,
Yeah.
Movie Office Space.
Yep.
I think it's the same office they all work in. And he's just at the top now because he don't care anymore.
Keeps just going upstairs.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it 2 trees.
I think that's fair. I think that's right around the 42% of everybody else. Did you watch the end credit? With where they wrap up where everybody's at and all that with the mice?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was very sweet. Make sure if you do watch this movie, watch that part. It tells you where everybody lands and all that other stuff. And then that one guy gets what's coming to him. And I found the gas can very funny and all that. But thank you all for watching this episode of Trees in Space. If you enjoyed it, please give us a comment and like us. And please tune into our next episode, which will drop on Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Until then, I've been Nate. That's been Jason. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon. What?